Ben ritornati al nostro podcast The Wonder Wayfinder. Willkommen zurück zu unserem Podcast The Wonder Wayfinders.
Welcome to our podcast this week on the Wandering Wayfinders.
Hello! Welcome back.
This week we're doing Austria, having just won the Eurovision Champions Song Contest. We felt it's best to just go a little bit into it, and Diana here is going to lead us off.
Yes, because the last few times that Austria won the Eurovision, they hosted in Wien. I wanted to start with the capital of Austria, which is Wien. And Wien was the capital of Austria since the start of the imperialism with the Habsburg family. So let's say from the 15th century, it became the heart of Europe. And for this reason, there are a lot of royal palaces, and one of these royal palaces is the Schönbrunn Palace. Is one of the many residents of the imperial family, and it is famous because it's one of it has many rooms. It has like 1,441 rooms, and it also have a baroque garden with fountain, statue, and a gloriette viewpoint. And inside here there is also one of the oldest zoo. It was open in the 1752 and now is protected by UNESCO. But there is not only this palace, there is also the Habsburg Palace, and it was the main residence of the Habsburg family. And in this case, there are 2,060 rooms. I mean, I don't know how many rooms those royal families needed, but I mean, these are a lot of rooms. Nowadays, is a museum, and there is also the houses of the Austrian President's office. And there is the museum of Sissi. Sissi is the last empress of the Habsburg family. And there is also another castle in here. There is the Luxembourg Castle, and is famous because it's more a romantic type of style of the imperial palaces. And there is also another palace. There is the Belvedere Palace. It was built by Eugenio di Savoia, which was an Italian general, but he works for the Habsburg family. And it was a summer residence, and later was also used by the Habsburg. Now there is a museum in which there is also the art of Klimt, so such as the Kiss of Klimt. And then in Wien there is also another park that is really beautiful, and the name of the park is Boergarten and Vossgarten, and is near of the Habsburg Palace. And there is also a statue of Mozart and the Empress of Elizabeth. I think there are a lot of things to watch and to see in Wien, but mainly these are the main things of the royal family. And we can just switch to another city that maybe is not at center.
Absolutely, but what I will add on Austria is that it being a very important city, musically speaking, with Beethoven having lived there, as well as Strauss. So music in itself, just like the Eurovision, is really embedded in Austrian culture, especially in Vienna. Now, even though that's like looking back on really old versions of music per se, there is new age music coming up in Austria and in Vienna with newer Deutsche Harte, which is this German hardness genre of music, which is a blend of rock and electronic music. And it shows Austria's more edgy, modern style. So if you're thinking to yourself, oh, we're going to Eurovision, which will probably be in Vienna, because that's what they've done in the past, you will see a range of music going from classical all the way up to this modern version. So, hey, it's quite interesting.
It is. Also, I mean, Austria is just full of music festival, especially during the summer. There is not only dedicated to classical music, but also to more folk music. So, I mean, if you are a lover of music, Austria is just the place for you.
Yeah, I agree. So I think the next city we'll probably look at will be Salzburg. So I know you got some information on Salzburg, so I'll let you kick it off and I'll just chip in and add little bits.
Okay, so Salzburg is the birthplace of Mozart. In fact, in this city, there is also the Mozart Geburtshaus, which in English is the birthplace of Mozart. It is located near the center of the city, and there is this yellow house, and now it's a museum dedicated to his life with original instrument, portraits, and personal letters.
Wow.
That provides insight of the prodigy formative years of Mozart. But in this city there is also a Baroque architecture, and of course being near of the Alps, there is this just beautiful landscape of the mountains. There is also a fortress with the name of Hohensalzburg. And this fortress is one of the Europe's largest and best preserved medieval castle. So again, being an European country, we have a lot of different type of architecture, from more modern to the more medieval type of architecture. So this is the beauty of being an European country, because you just have so many historic things. And
Absolutely.
for example, we have also in here talking about a festival. In the middle of summer, we have another festival dedicated to music and drama, and is the Salzburg Festival. It was established in the 1920, so it's more or less 100 years and 5 years. And in this festival, you have performance of opera, concerts, play, and especially these plays are dedicated to are dedicated to Mozart's works. So this festival really attracts a lot of people. They love this type of genre.
Absolutely. And even though we're still talking about Salzburg, there is it being the backdrop for Sound of Music, a movie that Austrians don't particularly like because it doesn't necessarily depict the accurate history. But it's a fun fact. If you want to go to those rolling hills in a fairy tale city, Salzburg is probably the place you'd want to visit. And once again, you would get to have that little music history. If it wasn't going to be sort of classical, we're also looking at the yodeling history that you do find in these areas. So the next place we're going to touch on is Straya and Cartagena, which is I've got here as culinary delights and southern charm. So we're heading down south to that part of Austria, and we're talking something probably more akin to Italy in terms of vine-covered hills with massive grape vineyards and scenic drives along wine roads and very charming Buschenach taverns. So it's also known as the sunny side, the sunny south of Austria as well. So we're talking about lakes that are perfect for swimming, majestic mountains, and relaxed Mediterranean almost atmosphere. Yeah.
Yeah, when you go to the south of Austria, there is just a completely different type of landscape. Yeah, there is still mountains, but just a fusion of mountains and plains. So there is a beautiful landscape that is just particular of this type of part of Austria. But another things that you can do in the south of Austria, if you're like more into the fun activity, there are two main family parks, so amusement parks. One is the family park Musir-Larsee, that is near Rust or Rust. This is the largest amusement park, and there are three main areas. The Erlebnisburg, where you can experience the medieval theme park. Then there is the fairy tale forest, and then another part there is the farm, and then the last park there is more adventure type of attraction. But near Salzburg, there is another amusement park. There is the Fantasie Lieblingspark Straßwalchen. That is more dedicated to fairy tale rides and show. So again, as you said before, Salzburg is just this type of fairy tale town, and it is true because also in this theme park, this type of theme is there. So if you want to experience also being into a fairy tale, why not go there for a couple of hours?
Absolutely. I think that's the beauty of Austria is that there's so much to see and so much to do. We couldn't possibly cover everything in one video, but it's just lovely to have these little bits of what you could do there. And then the next place we'll probably go to is like even further lower in Austria. We're talking about the Wachu Valley, where the Danube River is, which is the second largest river in Europe. And that's something to see because it transverses so many European countries. So we've got to expect very steep terraced vineyards again. And it's world renowned for producing white wines and these medieval towns with ancient castles. And I think you got a little bit of information on some of those beautiful sites we can see there.
If you really like the Danube River, you can just enjoy it by being on a boat because there are many type of cruises that you can take and just enjoy the view of this different city. And one of the city that you can visit is the Dunstein, that is famous for the ruins of the castle where King Richard Leonhard was held captive. Then we also have the Wachau Valley. There is this 36-kilometer stretch between Melk and Krems, and is celebrated for its picturesque landscape with the vineyard, monasteries and castles. And we also have the Melk Abbey, which is this abbey with a masterpiece of Baroque architecture, and it offers these panoramic views of the Danube. So again, if you just want to visit the Danube, why not do it by being on a boat and just go through all these beautiful parts of the city and of the country.
Absolutely. And I think that's a trend we're seeing here with Austria in general is that no matter where you go, no matter where you step in this country, you're going to run into some beautiful pieces of history and beautiful just natural beauty. I've got a couple of places here that are worthwhile looking at, and that's the Jital Valley in Carnithia. We've got to envision a picturesque valley in Austria's first slow food travel region. So you're expecting great cuisine, traditional farming, and just a slower pace of life. So if you're tired of the hustle bustle of Vienna, why not take a trip there? And then if we go into lower Austria, we've got Altenberg Abbey. And here you've got to envision a magnificent Baroque abbey known for its impressive facade, opulent library, and beautiful frescoed church. It's honestly a hidden gem. You might have talked a bit about this in terms of Vienna and the surrounding areas. There's the Vienna Forest as well, which is you've got a picture of vast expanse of rolling wooden hills. And that's right on Vienna's doorstep. So if you love hiking or biking or charming little wine taverns, Jürgens, and this is great because it's right next to the capital city. So after you watch or when you're not watching Eurovision during the day, maybe you go for a hike. There's really loads of stuff that you can do in Austria.
Yeah, definitely. And if you want to if you are into these cycling activities, in the south of Austria, there is Lienz, and you can just do this draw cycle path. That is in the border with Italy. You do this 34 kilometers of cycle path from San Candido, which is in Italy, to Lienz, which is in Austria.
Amazing.
And it's not really it's not that difficult, so it's just perfect for families and just casual cyclists. So if you are not experienced, you just can simply do it. And one of the best things, in my opinion, is that you can go there, enjoy the landscape, and then stop into factory or Loacker and just enjoy the delicious Loacker biscuits and sweetness that they offers. And also, Lienz is known, this little city, is known as the Pearl of Dolomites because there are two rivers, the Isel and Drava.
Wow.
So this city is just in the middle of these two rivers, and it has this beautiful little picturesque city and architecture.
Beautiful. And I would have to say that Austria is just turning out to be such a great destination. And as it's going to host the next Eurovision, it's got music, it's got nature, it's got good food, it's got desserts. I mean, it's got everything you could hope for. So I just have like a couple of travel tips that we'll go through for those people hoping to make it to Eurovision. You've got to book early. Once the host city and dates are out, accommodation and flights will book up really fast. So it's important for you to really get ahead of the traffic there. Public transport is great in Austria, so go ahead and use the trains, the trams, the buses. It'll be perfect to get around the city. Why not learn a few German phrases? I mean, you might as well learn a few Italian phrases as well. So, as I was saying, there's a couple of phrases that you can definitely pick up in German. While English is widely spoken, basics like hello, danke, and bitte will always be appreciated, goes a long way. And explore beyond the host city. Austria is a relatively compact city. It's a relatively compact country and diverse regions. So plan a few extra days and see some of these places that we've mentioned.
Okay, so the thing that you can do while you are in Austria, especially during the Eurovision, is just to enjoy the food and what you can eat, especially in Austria. In one of the main things that you can eat is this Sachertorte. Is known for being one of the oldest dessert in Europe. But if you want to just try something different, there is not just sausages and krauti, because we all know that Austria and Germany are known for potatoes, krauti and sausages. There is also this really delicious type of fish, especially in the Danube area. And you can just go there and try this local fish. And if you want, you can try different type of bread also, because Austria is known for this pastry that is soft on the outside but really sweet in the inside. Also, for example, the Kaiserschmarrn is a type of pancakes that is really fluffy and with vanilla cream, so good to eat. I tried and it was so good. And of course, one of the most typical Austrian dessert, which is the apple strudel. So if you go there for Eurovision, not just to enjoy music and the country, I really suggest you to enjoy also the food. And of course, there is the typical drink of Austria, which is beer. I mean, the beer festival in Austria and Germany are really famous. So why not go there and enjoy yourself with some good food, some good music, and some art and landscape?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, this is what we have time for today. We hope you find these tips helpful and you get an overall view of what an experience it will be and how enjoyable
Exactly.
Austria will be.